Trey from Populations Creations here in South Texas in the lovely city of Pleasanton. Today, by request, I was asked if I could make a tutorial based off of my cowboy hat or cowboy girl cake pops. So I'm going to show you how simple it is to actually do. And first off, what we're going to do is we tinted our fondant. You can make your cowboy hats any color. You just make sure that your fondant brim is going to be the same color as whatever candy that you're going to dip your cake pop in. So you've done that already. Next, of course, you have your cake dough that you've already made. This is mine here, and I've measured it out using the 1 tablespoon measuring spoon. As you can see, it is 1 tablespoon. Okay, so 1 tablespoon. So you would do this, you measure them out all on your bowl, on your tray. Then you just spoon it out. What you do is you would roll it into a circle, and you would do this to all of your cake balls. Roll them up into a circle, put it down on your work table, and start pressing the edges of the bottom of the cake ball down towards your counter space. And the reason why you want this is because you want your fondant to lay flat down here along the brim, along the hat part. You want almost like a teardrop type of form. You want like a teardrop type of form to it, as you can see up here. You want it to come together. You want it to be as close to the bottom as you can. Once you got that, you'd put your thumbprint right up on top, and you'd start to press the top areas of the cake against your thumb, so that way you have it a indentation right up on top, just like that. You're going to squeeze this top part just a little bit. Then using the padded part of your thumb and your forefinger, you're going to pinch right up on top. Don't worry if it starts to crack. You can press them right back together. Or once you put your candy, once you dip it in your candy, it will seal right over and you won't even be able to tell. So now we got our hat. Once you do this to all of your cake balls, then you're going to turn it over. You're going to dip your stick into your candy, put it inside your cake ball, and then there you go. That is your hat portion. You're going to do this to every single one of your cake balls. Some people prefer to freeze them, some people don't. I actually do, so I'm going to go ahead and put this here into my freezer. And by the magic of television, I already have one prepared. As you can see, it's the same thing. There's a little minor crack right there. Let's just press our cake back together again. It's got the 2 indentions here. It's squeezed together a little bit up here. Everything is flat right where it's going to come together with the fondant. We got our thumb indentation right up here. So now we're ready to go with this. What we're going to do is we're going to dip this inside our chocolate. You're going to tap off the excess, making sure you get as much chocolate off of this bottom portion as you can, and at the same time making sure that this middle part where we did the indentation with our thumb has chocolate in it, but not enough to where it's going to seal it over, because we want that definition to that top part of our cake. So we're just going to make sure that we get all this extra chocolate off. And then once we get that, now we have our hat piece. Normally what I like doing is while my cake pops are freezing, I like already starting to make the circles, the brim parts to my hat. So normally while those are chilling in the fridge before I dip them, I start rolling out my fondant. And what you want to do with your fondant, you want to make it at least about a 1/16 of an inch thick. Make it as wide as you possibly can. You don't want it too thick because then it's going to weigh heavy on your cake pop. But you don't want it too thin to where it's not going to hold its shape very well. So for here I'm just going to use a small piece because we're only going to be making one just for this tutorial. What I like using is a medium-sized biscuit cutter or a standard-sized biscuit cutter. You can normally find them in a 3-pack. What I ended up doing with my larger one for Easter is making huge eggs for like cakes and stuff. You just bend the top part just a little bit, keeping the round part oval, and then you get an egg. So I rarely ever use my round one. My small one. So we're going to use the medium-sized one. You want to make as many circles as you want. Once you got your shape, then what you want to do is you want to put, that kind of warped it out a little bit, didn't it? Once you have your circle, then you're going to get the bottom of a Cakepop stick, stick it in the center, and you're going to do this for every single one of your pieces of fondant. Here I already have one that's already ready. What you're going to want to do is, as your fondant sits, you're going to want to start flipping it over every few minutes, so that way, one, it doesn't stick to the paper, and two, that way it continues to dry on both sides of the piece of fondant. It just makes it a lot easier. You don't want it to dry too much. You just want it to be able to dry to where you're able to bend it, and it starts to hold its shape a little bit more, so that way you can adjust it to make the size of your brim. Next, what you're going to do is you have your little hat part. You're going to dip your toothpick. You're going to put a little dot on the side, bring some underneath. You want some at the bottoms and every side of your Cakepop, along with the other side here. And the reason why is I'm going to show you right now what you're going to do. You're going to get your piece of fondant. You're going to slide it up. You're going to attach it here. Then you're going to press the sides together to where that spot that you put your candy at, and make sure that it sticks real nice and good to it. See how it's starting to hold its shape a little bit more? You want to do this to all sides. Then once that's done, then you have your cowboy hat. And you're going to want to do this to every piece of your hat that you have. Once it holds, there you go. Now you have your cowboy hat. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I told you it was very simple, and I want to see your creations. See if you can make the cowboy hat yourself. Pretty easy. See you later, and adios. Peace.